Hey, this is John from Anchor Lot. Today we're going to be talking about a really popular topic, which is the positive sides of struggling. So I think we've probably all seen inspirational videos about people who've overcome a lot of adversity in their life, came from poverty, became a famous athlete, became an artist, whatever it might be. The problem with these videos, though, is in 10 seconds, in 20 seconds, we read or hear about this struggle. And then we get to the end and we get to the happy ending and somebody's famous and somebody's overcome all this adversity. Now they're rich. Now they're successful. And we go, oh, I want to be like that. And the reality is it took these individuals most of the time, years, decades sometimes, to get through their struggles, to get through their adversities. And we really, as a culture in this society, we want instant gratification. We want things now. We have life coaches. We go to conventions for people to tell us, oh, this is how you're going to get rich. This is how you're going to get successful. And what we choose to ignore often is, again, this preparation, this struggling phase. And a lot of times it sucks, right? It hurts. We suffer. We constantly think of quitting, right? There's always the two voices. One is saying, go, go, and the other saying, stop, you're not good enough, you're not worthy. All of these things are happening. We're battling with this all the time. Yet, when we actually achieve some goals, we get to look back and we get to say, wow, I understand that struggle now. I understand why I had to prepare so much in order to be here now. So what we're going to talk about is 4 phases today: preparation, struggle, birth or rebirth, and then death, and then the cycle repeating. So a really good metaphor that we can use to go through that is that of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. The whole phase of turning into a butterfly takes 5 to 21 days. This isn't something that just happens overnight. In certain cases, even in deserts and harsher conditions, it can take up to 3 years for a butterfly to come out of its chrysalis, which is incredible when you think about that as a metaphor. Maybe you come from poverty, maybe you have more adversity in your life. We all come from different situations. And based on our situations and our privileges and where we come from, some things become easier than others. So if you think of the 5 to 21 day period, maybe for some people it's 5 to 21 weeks, maybe it's 5 to 21 years. And so we have to understand this is not a quick phase that we go through, right? Again, we all want to skip to the end. We all want to skip to, well, I want my money now, or I want this job now, or I want to be successful, I want to be famous, I want to have that platform, I want to be that spokesperson, right? But you can't be that person without all of the preparation that builds the strength, the armor, the foundation that you need in order to be strong, in order to be in that position that you want and be successful in that position, right? So think of the butterfly, 5 to 21 days, and then in order to get out of the chrysalis, there's a really intense struggle. This is not the struggle before a lot of great moments. I can relate to this in my life. I'm sure you can too. Before great moments in my life, I've often been the most frustrated, right? I'm on the verge of getting there. I'm right on the verge, and I've been preparing for weeks, for years, and I'm struggling and I don't know why. And I'm asking God, what do I need to see here? But in reality, if you compare it to the butterfly, it actually is the struggle that gets the fluids in its wings so that it can spread and fly. So think of that. Without that struggle, we aren't prepared. We don't have the blood flowing through our bodies. Think of working out. Think of anything we do that exerts energy. Blood has to be pumping through us in order to get there. So we go through the struggle, and sometimes we struggle so much that we quit, and we're right on the verge, right? We've prepared. God, why? I prepared so much. Or even if you don't believe in God, you feel like you're entitled, you deserve this, and maybe you do. But it's this struggling period that you need in order to be born, to spread your wings, and to fly. So understand that even once you get out and fly, right, now it's time to celebrate. You should celebrate, and you should also be grateful. You should be grateful, understanding where you came from. And I don't just mean like you came from poverty or you came from a location and look at where you are now. I mean, think of really like all of the work, all of the people you had to meet, all of this preparation, all of this time you put into this to be where you are now, to have achieved this goal. I think of it as being on a plateau of a mountain, right? You can't necessarily see the plateau. You just know that you have to keep hiking. But then you get there and you get to look around and you get to look down at all of the beauty of the struggles, of the adversity, and all of the things you overcame to get to this plateau. You've been born again. But a butterfly only lives for up to 2 weeks at most. So we get to these positions, but life evolves and we are constantly evolving. So this is why it's important to love the struggle, to love the adversity, because you get to those plateaus and you get to enjoy the moment. You get to relish in that. And again, be grateful. Do not take it for granted. Often we pray to God and then we get what we want eventually. And then maybe we forget about God. Maybe we forget about, again, where we came from. We're not grateful. We're now taking things for granted, right? Then the struggles come again and we're going, why? But the reality is, like a butterfly, sometimes it will be 2 weeks. Sometimes you only get to enjoy being on top for a day, maybe an hour. Could be a year. But the process of being reborn means that you have to shed your skin again. You have to die, right? It doesn't have to be that harsh, but in reality, we go through a lot of these things. We struggle. We go through a divorce. We break up. We lose our jobs. We get injured. Something happens, right? This is life. And these things happen so that we can go through the process, so that we can, again, go through the preparation phase, so that we can struggle again, so that we can be reborn again. And then we get to that next plateau and we get to go look down and say, oh my God, not only did I come from all of this before, but I can see the other plateau I came from, and it's so much more beautiful up here. And when we understand the importance and beauty of struggling, then we can understand how to go through that cycle again, what that cycle means, and if it started as a 5 to 21 day, or let's say 5 to 21 months more realistically, or 5 to 21 years. Now when you die and you get reborn again, that cycle will be a lot shorter, and it will definitely be more efficient if it's not shorter. It depends on what it is, right? But you're going to get more efficient. The more that you build your armor, the stronger you get, the quicker and more efficiently you'll be able to address your issues. I was on a hike in Torres del Paine, Chile, which I highly recommend. It's one of the most beautiful places I've been, and it's probably one of the most beautiful places in the world. There's what's called this W hike. You can even do a full circle around the whole park. But the W hike is what I did. I did it in 3 days, 47-mile hike. And I remember the second day I was feeling great. I was nourished. I was feeling amazing. I'm running up the mountain. I get to the peak. I look around me. There's this unbelievable view. I get to exactly what I'm saying. From a plateau, I get to see all of the beautiful aqua turquoise waters and all of this magical place just opened up, right? Miles down. It looks so distant, but I came there in a couple hours. But around me is this amazing, almost 270-degree angle of just mountains surrounding me, and I'm looking around saying this is like one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So I got to enjoy the moment. Like a butterfly, I wasn't there for 2 weeks. I was there for, let's say, 2 hours enjoying it. But guess what? I'm only halfway through the hike. I'm in the middle of the W. I go back down. My knees are starting to hurt. Blisters are starting to form on my feet. And I get to camp, and I remember, I'll never forget it, looking up and just seeing this unbelievable sky with more stars than I've ever seen in my entire life. There was almost more stars than sky. And I wake up the next day, didn't get enough food, and now I'm on the last part of the hike, and this is the steepest part, and it's the windiest part. Winds are, I'm not even kidding you, 100 miles an hour. People are hunkered down with their hiking sticks, so they're not falling off cliffs. I'm not even kidding you. And I'm going, well, you could just quit. You might as well just quit, right? Like, my knees are hurting. Every time I'm going down a hill, like down a portion of a hill, I'm hoping to go uphill. And every time I'm going up a hill, I'm getting blown back down by winds. And my feet and the blisters on my feet, I just feel miserable. I'm malnourished. I feel like I'm not starving. I just feel so weak. And I just feel terrible physically. While some other people are great because they hike all the time, right? They're more prepared, right? They prepared more for this. I hadn't prepared for this, right? But I know that I'm here. I'm down in the southernmost part of Patagonia. How many times am I going to come back here in my life? And I just push myself. I get to the other peak. And then even after enjoying this last part of the W, guess what? I still got to come back down. And that was probably even the most miserable part, was coming down, even though with all of the climbs, again, the knees were hurting, everything else. And looking back on it, you know, my ability to prepare and go through that struggle to get to that greatness, to be able to achieve something like that, to be able to see such beauty, was absolutely worth it. How could I possibly regret that, right? And now I get to have that memory with me for the rest of my life. And now when I'm walking through New York City or wherever I am and it's 15 degrees out and the wind's blowing at my face and people are complaining, oh my God, it's so miserable, it's so cold. I'm going, this is nothing compared to what I've been through, right? Perspective. And that's the beauty of understanding the struggle. That's the beauty of understanding adversity and what it allows you to achieve, and how it allows you to help other people, and how it allows you to help yourself, how it allows you to understand what's important in life, how it brings you closer to God if you believe in God, how it brings you closer to other people, how it connects you to the world more. And so the next time you're thinking about your struggle, why God, why am I in this situation? The next time someone you know gets cancer, it might even be you. The time you're questioning, why is this happening? And sometimes it's incredibly and almost impossible to understand why. Just know that there is a positive side to this. There is a positive side to this struggle, and this struggle matters because it's going to get you to somewhere else. It's going to bring people together more. It's going to get people to stop taking things for granted. It's going to help people understand the beauty of life. Without struggle, without the preparation, without all of this, what do you have in life? Right? We say like, oh, well, I wish Adam and Eve, I wish they didn't screw up. Then what would be the point of life? Right? If we were just given everything and if we were just able to fly around and make love and everything was just perfect, what would be the point? How would we appreciate anything? So when you're struggling, think of the 4 phases of the butterfly: preparation, struggle, spreading your wings and being born or born again, and then dying, and then looking forward to doing it again and getting to that next peak. Because I can promise you, if you stick with it and you keep working at it, you will understand why you were doing it when you get there.